Well, hello, folks. It is another Wednesday, and it is time once again to rank a puzzle game for the Game Boy Entertainment Nintendo System. That's the official name. That's really what they called it. And we currently have 49 games on the list. Number 1, Tetris, probably, most likely, because I'm biased, not going to move. And if we drop all the way down to the bottom over here, we have Godzilla at number 49. That means this week is our 50th game. And for context, when I did ranking of the shmups for the Genesis, the 50th game was pretty much the last one. That was the end of the whole run. Got 50 games on the list. We've got more than 50 games this time, but we got to do... as I like to do every 5 games, we put in something a bit more of a sure thing, something that I know is gonna be pretty good. Or at the very least, something that I know I'm gonna like, which is really how this generally works. And this week we have a game called Kirby's Star Stacker. I never played this back in the day, but I did play it on the 3DS, and then I played it again on the Switch, and I'm playing it now. So without any further ado, let's just jump right on in. And so, conveniently for us, this game does have a little attract mode here that... Use your friends to collect the stars. Sandwich stars between like friends to stack the stars. So yeah, this gives you a general idea of what you're doing. You sort of match the little icons, and any star that's in between it. If another star is between, you won't collect it, or another friend is. When you can chain your stacks together, bonus stars will fall. So you can rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. You can go both ways. Use chain reactions to get lots of stars at one time. And I believe if you press... Yeah, you have like a soft drop if you press down on the D-pad. So, kind of like in Tetris, it'll drop faster. If you press up on the D-pad, it flips the 2 tiles. So that's if you're in a situation where you can't rotate them around, you can just press up to flip them. Maybe I'll just show that off when we get to it. You'll see. So what they're showing now is kind of the main thing in this game, which is the bonus stars drop on the field, and if they cause another match, more bonus stars drop on the play field, and more, and more. And so that ends up being the trick to really high combos. And here comes DDD's Fist. When you set the block, whammo! Wow! And so, yeah, this is basically just warning you that... So you see the little angry fist in the corner there? Then they pop up from the bottom. And sometimes... get caught on a center column, and the game is over. Yeah, so you can stack all the way up to the top on the sides, but not in the middle. And that's pretty much everything you need to know. So we can't play versus. We got challenge, time attack, and round clear. And it does look like I've played this before, because the challenge scores are up there, and also you unlock more difficult modes as you go. But we're going to start with round clear, just to show it off. Hard, very hard, super hard. I'm just going to start with hard. When you lose, I get to laugh at you. Big time! Ha ha ha! He's already laughing at me. So here's what I mean by flip the... So if you push up, they just swap places. And so you don't need to rotate them to... And like I said, that's useful for situations where... where you're sort of caught in like a tight space. Best laid plans. We dropping a lot of frames? Just wanna... Oh, looks like it was just a temporary hiccup. I hope we didn't drop any frames on that one, because that went quite well. Alright, I guess that was a hint. Timeout. Alright, good break, everybody. The bomb works, I think, pretty much how you expect, if I remember. Right, as the bomb explodes, it clears the whole row. That's the idea. Look out, we're about to get another whammo wow. It's not a big deal. Sounded like the music was about to do something funny. Yeah, so the whammo wow thing is not always necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it does give you some much needed tiles to work with. It looks like the stream bitrate just keeps bouncing back and forth between good and bad. Looks fine on this screen. Just shows one dip. Okay. I'm overthinking it, probably. Okay, we're up to round 7. Do your worst, because your worst ain't that bad. Okay. Something else is what's happening? What's with... Oh, maybe the music changes when you're close to clearing a stage? I don't remember that. And again, I didn't play stage clear mode that much. Alright, so it's telling me what to do. Oh, we get another break. Okay, good break. Back to work. Oops. I should have used that piece a little more productively. Ah. No, I guess it worked out. It seems like the main thing that ramps up here is the star requirement. Yeah, okay, so the music changes when you are, like, within 2 stars of completing a level. As I said, I don't typically play stage clear mode, so... didn't really know that. There we go. So let's back out of that. Let's try time attack. How many stars can you stack in 3 minutes? Let's find out. We're gonna move up to very hard. Yeah, we're burning some calories now. Oh yeah, I should probably mention those blocks that look like metal grades. They turn into stars when you sort of how do it? Yeah, when they're in between the tiles, they get cleared, or they don't get cleared, but they turn into stars. So this is probably not going to be a particularly impressive run. Well, that did some damage. We're kind of closing in, though. This here, star drops. Maybe get one more in there. One more. 99. So close. Let's do another one on super hard, just to show it off. So as you might expect, super hard. The board is a bit nastier. one was human error. So there we go, and... moving along. Well, 88, it's not bad for bumping up the difficulty. A big thing with the game is that it's actually quite generous. Because, you know, there's only so many different types of tiles. Like, there's only, I think, three of Kirby's friends. And the board is pretty small, which presumably is to make sure it's readable. This game does have good readability. You know, I played it on the 3DS. I have played this on a small screen. Alright, let's play Challenge. So Challenge is basically endless. So this is the one I usually play. It's very fast, but do your best. Good luck! Like, in a weird way, like, the fact that it's so generous, it kind of makes it easy to play, but at the same time, it can be kind of difficult to, like, get really good combos set up. You'll almost, like, just accidentally clear a bunch of stuff. Which, I mean, obviously that's a difficult thing to sit here and complain about. But it also means that, like with a lot of these games, getting really good moves just kind of feels like you have to wait for them to happen by pure luck. Controls are pretty forgiving. I got a little confetti because we hit 100 stars. This is definitely the kind of game, once you get a good run started, you can go for a while. Alright, yeah, that's gonna do that. Oh, fine, I'll clear that row. Hey, you're still not happy? This game's never happy. Now we gotta make a move quick, because otherwise Whammo Wow is gonna get us. We're just gonna need to deal with this row as fast as this column, I guess, as fast as we can, because otherwise that's gonna become a problem. As it has now become a problem on the other side. Now we get new music. That was stupid, but it's fine. Okay. The game seems to be pretty good about making sure that, like, you know, if you hold left or right before the piece drops, like sort of making sure that you can still kind of push it all the way to the side. You know, unless the stack is all the way up to the top like it is there. See if the game doesn't give us an owl. There we go. do get a few good hard swings on this too. Where it just seems like a round is doomed and then kind of pulls it back out. That's better. That's 300 stars. Too late? It's too late. Okay. But it worked out. It took too long to get that one in place. But again, it's not a big deal because the game's fairly forgiving. So again, these sort of, like the kind of metal grade, I guess what we would call garbage blocks. in other games of this style, they can actually be a little unintentionally helpful at making more combos sometimes. I screwed up that move. Oops. That was particularly bad planning on my part. I'm just gonna have to get that fish out of the middle row. We're now up to 500 stars. The other thing I will say, you know, this is presumably supposed to be really tense right now, and honestly, I'm kind of relaxed. I'm not entirely sure if the game actually ramps up in difficulty or not. Kinda seems like it doesn't. I also don't remember how many stars you need to get in order to unlock the next difficulty setting. Well, let's just see if we... There we go. In fact, sometimes I've deliberately tried to to sort of take a dive on a game and just kept getting like more and more like matches and stacks in the final moments, and it just would not end. Wow, cool! Try a little more. No, we didn't. So eventually you unlock another difficulty called Insane, and it lives up to its name, I suppose. We'll do some more round clear in a second. Where's my candy? Give me my candy. These ones are okay. The taste is fine. The texture is maybe not the same. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Think you can win? Think again. I do hope you're able to see this. I'm having a hard time just trying to get a sense for it. Well, apparently I thought I could win so hard that I did. Took a while. Well, took 2.5, well, yeah, 2.5 minutes, we'll call it. Yes. This stage might not take as long to clear, I'm thinking. call that my gamer's intuition. You just know these things after a while. You don't need to be told. Went a little differently from how I was expecting. The dropped frames are still around, I think, 4%. Hopefully it's not too bad. Oh, that actually took more time than the last stage. And considering the big combo we got at the start, I wouldn't think that was going to be the case. Yeah, I'm starting to see some dips in the, I'm still not dropping too many frames. I think the stream quality is getting worse instead of better, though. Don't really have a plan here. That one actually went a little bit faster. Because, again, I'm actively trying to lose, and the game won't let me. I am just holding down. There we go. And so that's about 50 minutes. Let's get this thing onto the list, which is this one. Alrighty. And so, game looks really good, plays really well. Music's not amazing, but it's charming. It's got that Kirby charm to it. It's not the best Kirby music I've ever heard. It's fine. The harshest thing I can say about it is that it is a bit weird. In that, if you haven't played it before, it's not as intuitive. There's a lot of stuff that, once you've put a little bit of time into it, kind of makes, you put a little more time into it, it makes a little more sense. And then you sort of figure out the more advanced strategies, we'll call them. That's a generous way of describing it. It just, once you got the hang of it, it is a ton of fun. A little on the easy side. But yeah, and I don't know what threshold you need to hit, but there is another difficulty after super hard called insane, and the only thing with the insane difficulty is it starts out like just the board is like nothing but garbage blocks and like maybe 3 friends, and so once you've survived the first handful of moves, you can kind of get yourself through it, but it's a lot of non-starters. And, I kind of wish I could have showed that off. Maybe I should have. Well, I deliberately chose not to practice this game beforehand. That's what I always do. I try to go into, like, the games that I know, I go into them unpracticed. So that I don't just steamroll them and go like, oh yeah, this is perfectly easy and there's not a problem. So, not that it made that big a difference in this particular situation, because it is still, it's a very forgiving game, I think, is the big thing. And is it as good as Tetris? No. Is it as good as Mario's Picross? No. Mole Mania? I think I would prefer this over Mole Mania, but Mole Mania's kind of got a lot going for it, so I'm going to say no. And I think the same thing kind of goes for Dr. Mario as well. Dr. Mario, well, I was about to say it's a more intuitive game, but I know a lot of people kind of have trouble with Dr. Mario, but I think Dr. Mario is still kind of a tighter experience overall. Is Kirby Star Stacker better than Cat Trap? Oof, well, now we're getting into, like, apples and oranges territory. But overall, I think yes. Kirby's Star Stacker up there at number 5. Congratulations to Kirby Star Stacker. Well earned. It's a very fun game. And that's going to be me for this evening. I will be back tomorrow night with, well, before I get into it, I'm just going to have a quick look to see who's online and see what's going on here. Plastic. Maybe Mario 64. Oh, Paper Mario. Retro achievements. Looks like, yeah, Psychedelic Eyeballs playing some Serious Sam. We'll hop in over there. And, yeah, I will be back tomorrow night with live improvised music. I'll be back on Saturday with music production. I'll be back on Monday with Azure Dreams and an as of yet undecided new game because I'm just getting a little bored with Inindo. And then, Tuesday, more Etrian Odyssey, that's what it's called. Map game. We're going to play more map game. And then I'll have a new puzzle game for us this time next week. So until then, thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, I do hope to see you next time. So bye for now.